What I wanted to do with this is just try to get people thinking, because in Aberdeen, at least, I never realized how many children were in care or have been in care. But as somebody who's also failed by the system, I need people to be aware, because I'm not the only one. It's really bad how common it is and how it's not talked about. That's what I wanted to showcase, and I wanted these films to get people thinking. I wanted them to think, to go home, to research and be like, oh, that's a thing. That's bad. We probably shouldn't do that.
Like, I just wanted to explore that sort of like the, kind of like shame and like embarrassment and like sadness, I guess, you get from not being able to share that you're care because you feel so like very othered, I guess.
And actually, I don't know who said it earlier, and I know I said you were on the Daft Arts project, and we do, we're on the Daft Arts project, but somebody said, there's something about the Inside Out film that is, as a piece of art, is much more powerful than 100 training tools. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you how many times now the pieces of work that our young people have created sit in training modules.
It feels like there's a gap between, obviously, these policy makers and these document makers in government who actually are coming up with good policies, but it's almost as if they're failing to speak to the people on the ground who are working with the young people and saying, how do we do this? What do we need?
Well, it's mostly just trying to get the government to listen. Think about it, you can't talk to them. They haven't got like a phone number or anything.
So is there something that we ask of ourselves or we ask of each other in this session? It's about, what do you want to do about it?
This kind of project is really nice to have. If we have more of this kind of project in the future, because this kind of project help to people to understand what's going on in our society of young carers or any care happening in our society. That would be great, yeah.
So for me, the privilege is to just see the films. It's actually seeing what Yusuf created here. I've been at international film festivals and Yusuf done better every day on your first attempt in some of the events I've been in. And for me, I think that speaks volumes. No, and for me, that's what you should be taking out of this. It's like, actually, how do you grow this thing? And it's not just as your film festival, but it's an actual movement.
Where I come from, it's like film festivals and stuff, unless they're really in it, like maybe go to the cinema. But this is all kind of new. For kids in care, kids coming through care, kids that are homeless. I think then for people, it shows you the connection, rather than telling you, you can walk by somebody homeless in the town and you can ignore them, or you can throw them a couple of quid, buy them something to eat or whatever. Actually, how did they get there? And the chances are they did come through care, so they've been through the system. But actually, do see where actually we did have invested as a society ever. We wouldn't have these issues. And arts is a big bit that's massively missing. If somebody, they'll say that their behaviour's complex, but is it when you know the background and you can understand it? If you don't know the story, it might seem complex. Do you know what I mean? But for me, that's what camera allows you to do. Is break these stories down, change the narrative.
I really feel that young people being able to see themselves, see their own stories, and identify is huge, because, children read stories every day and they can see themselves in those stories. Our care experience, young people don't always have that. So actually being able to identify and really resonate with what the stories have been today, I think is incredibly powerful. Care is so important. Every element of care. With my job, I do focus very much on young people and children's care, but everybody needs to be cared. Everybody needs to feel that care, that nurture, that looked after, that love. And so I think that has really resonated for me today, the fact that we're all in a room of people who are really taking that to heart. We want that for everyone.